previously as well. Thank you, Nicolala. Okay. So then Apollinala told us that you had a good debate about form and or matter. It was form or matter and consciousness.
Matter and consciousnesses.
Okay, matter and consciousness. So very interesting. So maybe we can start with that, and later we will come back to the points that we've seen before the break. Yeah? Okay? Very good. So matter and consciousness, yeah. So
Actually, Palavila had the point that a living brain is a common base.
what? Sorry?
A living brain
Eh?
is a common base between matter and consciousness.
Ah, very interesting.
Yeah.
Because yeah, if we accept that, then okay, we could say that we tend towards the materialism, you know, like the modern science would say like consciousness is a kind of functioning of the matter, well-organized matter, like the brain, yeah? So like a living brain, okay. But if we don't accept that, we could say, okay, we are not materialistic, and we could accept something more deep with regard to what is mind. So we have to decide that. Yeah, that's interesting. So do you have the definitions of matter and consciousness? Yeah, matter. So we could do that like in a debate format. Well, I guess that you don't have the definition of matter. So what should you reply? The very first answer?
The reason is not established.
Yes, well done. Okay. So it follows that you know the definition of matter. And you have to accept. You have no other choice. You have to accept, yeah. Yes, I know the definition of matter. So in Tibetan it would be dulduduba, yeah. Atomically established. Atomically established. Yeah, it has to be made of atoms. Yeah? Would you agree? Yeah, matter. Like, for instance, so I would say, okay, it follows that you can give an illustration of matter. Anyone? Yes, Falavila? Your mic?
You need to unmute. Yeah.
Okay. Is it okay if I read from the materials? It's not my own imagination. I'm going to cheat. Sorry, because I want to make sure matter
Yeah.
is and if you're talking about the living brain, is that the following example? Then I would say an example is the brain.
Okay. The brain, it follows that the subject, the brain is matter. So it follows that the subject, the brain is atomically established.
Accept.
Okay. Okay. And it follows that you know the definition of consciousness.
Yes, accept.
Yeah, wow, opposite.
That which is clear and knowing, mutually
Yes.
inclusive within awareness and knower.
Yes, exactly. Okay, nowhere would be a broader category. If you say Sheba in Tibetan or Rigpa, it could be a little bit broader than just mind or consciousness, but that's okay. Yeah, for now we can say they are equivalent. Okay, yes. So that which is clear and knowing. So it follows that the brain is clear and knowing because it's a common base between matter and consciousness.
It has the characteristic of clear and knowing.
Okay. So what means clear? It follows that you know what means clear. Ah, who has some idea? So of course we know we learned that in the third volume of the Yongzin Dura, but Yongzin Lorik, yes. But now just it's important to know that what means clear and knowing. Yeah, clear would be the entity of the mind, and knowing would be its function. Yeah, like for fire, it would be hot and burning. Hot is the entity, and burning is the function. Yeah. Okay, so for the mind, clear and knowing. Clear in many textbooks means not material. Like even in the Drepung Gomang, you know, one of the big monasteries rebuilt in South India. In Drepung Gomang, the textbook would say, would give in the definition of mind, bemme, that which is not matter. Yeah. It would be one part of the definition, yeah. Bemme, well, it's not matter. So in one sense, it tends to corroborate the fact that clear within clear knowing, clear would mean not material. Yeah. So it follows that you can find something in the multiverse of Doctor Strange, something which is material and not material.
Accept.
Okay, so the brain would be something that is material and not material, for instance. No, Mola says no. I don't accept.
But what you just talked about the mind. So mind and brain. So if the brain has the characteristic of mind, mind is the non-material part of the brain, and the brain is the material part of the brain. So there's matter and non-matter combined. I mean, that's why living brain is such a confusing thing, because it's matter and non-matter combined.
So we can say, yes, you're right, Palavila, we can say that matter and non-matter can combine. Like for instance, here you have this cup, which is matter, and the selflessness of that cup. They are combined, yes, but nothing can be at the same time matter and non-matter, or palavila and non-palavila. Yeah, it's a law of non-contradiction in logic. When when we tend to approach logic, we need to follow some rules in one sense. Either something exists or it doesn't exist. Yeah, either something is matter or is not matter. Yeah, either something is, I don't know, impermanent or it is not impermanent. Yeah, but it cannot be both. But both sides or both parts, like permanent, impermanent, and so on, could combine in one phenomenon. Yeah, still one is not the other. Yeah. So yes, we have a mind which is connected with a living brain. That's true, but none of them is the other.
So is that what makes it contradictory?
Yes,
Because
exactly.
it is not the other. Therefore, so even though they're combined at any point in time, they are never a common base because they are not each other.
Exactly.
Okay, I see.
Wonderful. Yeah, so it follows that you know the comparison between matter and consciousness.
Accept.
Yes, among contradictory equivalent 3P and 4P.
I have to accept it as contradictory.
They are contradictory because
There is no common base.
if they are different and no common base, they are necessarily contradictory. Yeah, but still they can coexist and live together in one sense, in one phenomenon, yeah? Like a living being, for instance, yeah? Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Wow. Very good. So, yes, we, and what did you cover as well during the debate club? Other samples, other divisions?
The comparison between a ball and round shape.
Okay, wow. Very good. Yes, yes. A round shape and a ball. Yeah, okay. Like a football or like a ball or like a ball for tea or yeah. Okay, round shape. Okay. Yes. So if you want to yes, to enter in those debates, that's good to have some good habits from the start, yeah? So that's very good to do that club. Yeah, that's what we said before. Yeah, thank you, Zingrunla. It's good to do some practice. Then you have some good habits, yeah? Like, well, I guess that you don't know the definition of this. Okay. So it follows that you know the definition of this. Okay. Then it follows that you know the divisions of this and that and so on. Then after, then you can be used with the debate format, and it becomes easier. Yeah, slowly. Okay, very good. So we will try to recap a little bit what we've seen before in order not to get lost after the break, and we try to use the debate format as well. Yeah, do you agree with that? We try to play together. Okay, for the sake of all the beings. Okay, that's very important. Okay, so, well, I guess that you don't know the definition of existent. So we
The
start
reason
with,
is not established,
yes, the reason is not established. So it follows that you know the definition of existence.
except
Yes, posit.
that which is observed by a valid cognizer.
So the subject observed by a valid cognizer is the definition of existent.
Except
Okay, very good. So it follows that it's not true because you cannot posit the main divisions of existent.
what do I say? The reason is not established.
Yes, very good. So it follows that you know you can posit the main divisions of existent.
Except
Okay, posit.
permanent and functional thing.
Yes, everybody agrees? Permanent and functioning thing. Yeah? Or permanent and impermanent. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. So it follows that if it exists, it has to be permanent or impermanent.
Except
Aha, c'est un moment-là doesn't accept. Would say why? Okay.
I also accept.
Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah. We have to accept, yeah. Okay, if it follows that if it exists, it has to be permanent or impermanent. Yeah. Okay. So it follows that you can posit an illustration of permanent. Anyone? Any illustration for permanent? Yes. Halavila?
Uncomposite space.
Yeah.
Uncompounded space is an example, is a subject of permanent
It follows
existent.
it follows that the subject and compounded space is permanent.
Except
Okay. Yes. So it follows that you know the definition of permanent. Yes, posit.
permanent is phenomena is permanent phenomena is that which holds its own entity.
Okay. Okay. So it follows that an apple, I could say, yeah, a phone, the subject, a phone is permanent because it holds its own entity.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, it follows that the subject, my phone, is permanent because it holds its own entity.
Why?
Yeah, so in that case, I give a reason, yeah? So it would be a three-part consequence. Yeah, you remember what we saw before? For a two-part consequence, we have two answers, yes, accept, or why. And for the three-part consequence, we have more options. Yeah, but why doesn't exist in that case.
Okay, okay. So what should I ask then?
Yeah.
Pause it. No, sorry.
The challenger is the boss. The challenger asks to posit something. No problem. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, when who remembers what kind of answers we have for a three-part consequence for a syllogism? When we give a reason, yeah, I say, so my syllogism was, well, it follows that the subject, my phone, is permanent because it holds its own entity. Yeah, we can say accept, we agree for everything. We could say the reason is not established. Yeah, the reason is fake. Yeah, or we could say no pervasion. Yeah, the reason doesn't prove the predicate. Yeah, yeah, things like this we could say. Yeah, okay. So, do you agree that the subject, my phone, holds its own entity? Yes. Zingrunla, Tetawamola Shantila. Yeah. Many people agree. No, Palavila, no. No, it doesn't hold its own entity. It doesn't hold its own entity because?
Because it needs multiple factors to function.
Okay. 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 So yeah, I get what you mean. Okay. So it means for you that holding its own entity would mean not depending on anything else.
It means intrinsic.
Ah, okay. Yes. Intrinsic characteristic, yeah. But if we are in the Sautrantika club, everybody would agree with that, yeah. Yeah, only Ariana Nagarjuna and Acharya Chandrakirti and the Bodhisattva Shantideva would be in your club, Palavila. But in the Sautrantika club, they would accept that if it exists, it has to exist by its own characteristics, intrinsically. Yeah, yeah,
Even permanent phenomena?
yes, and even impermanent phenomena, yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
impermanent phenomena will exist.
Intrinsically, yeah, inherently.
Okay.
Yeah, because only the Prasangika Madhyamika would discard that, would refute that, the inherent existence. Yeah? But still, that's very interesting to get in that point now in the Sautrantika, because it would be our target after. So the more we are familiarized with the target, the more we can point toward it. Yeah, so yes, we try to learn first to unlearn the Prasangika in order to learn the Sautrantika and to be sure about the object of negation. Yeah, so that's interesting, yeah, with regard to that. Okay, so for the non-Prasangika schools, if it exists, it exists inherently from its own side. yeah, from its own characteristics and so on. Still, it can be impermanent and depend on causes and conditions and so on, yeah? Yeah. Yeah, for them, it's not a problem. For the Prasangika, it's a problem, yeah, but not for them. Okay, very good. Okay, so it follows that the subject that which holds its own entity is not the definition of permanent. Accept. Yeah, I see many accept. Yeah, it follows it is not the case because
There is no
Hypothesis.
pervasion.
okay, there is no perversion between that which holds its own entity and permanent. Yeah.
Right.
Yes, exactly. There is no perversion. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So, who knows which is the definiendum of that which holds its own entity?
Phenomena.
Yes, Tamamula. Yeah, very good. Yeah, phenomenon. Phenomenon is the definiendum, and its definition would be that which holds its own entity. Yeah, very good. So if it exists, it has to hold its own entity. Yeah. So permanent, impermanent, they hold their own entity anyway. Yeah, very good. So it follows that you don't know the definition of permanent.
The reason is not established,
Okay, so you know, it follows you know the definition of permanent.
except
Okay, opposite.
it's a phenomenon and it's non-momentary.
Yes, the subject, non-momentary phenomenon. Yeah, it's a kind of a shortcut. Yeah, non-momentary phenomenon is the definition of permanent.
Except
Okay, very good, very good. And it follows that you know the definition of impermanent. Yes.
except
Okay.
maybe somebody else can answer.
Who wants to give us the definition of impermanent?
Non-momentary. Sorry, momentary phenomena is
Yes,
impermanent.
for permanent, yeah? Permanent would be,
Impermanent.
yeah, because
Impermanent definition.
impermanent is momentary, yeah? Momentary
No.
change,
Yes.
impermanent, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, momentary, yeah? Do you agree? Yeah, kshanika in Sanskrit, yeah? Momentary, yeah? That which changes moment by moment, yeah? Momentary. Okay, very good, yeah? Kichigma in Tibetan, yeah? Very good. Okay. Okay. So it has to change moment by moment, yeah? Okay, very good. So we have the definition of existence. We have the main divisions of existent, permanent, and impermanent. We have the definitions of them. Then after we can go further in the divisions and so on. Yeah, that's the way you can start a debate if you wish. Yeah? It's a way to start as well. Yeah. Okay, very good. So it follows that you know the difference between permanent and impermanent among contradictory, equivalent, 3P, 4P.
Except
Yes, posit.
contradictory.
Contradictory, it follows that the subject, the two, permanent and impermanent, are contradictory.
Except
They are contradictory because,
they are different and they don't share common base.
yes, and if they are, it follows that if they are different with no common base, they are necessarily contradictory. Very good. Wonderful. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Very good. Well, it follows that you know the main divisions of impermanent. I'll try to go a little bit further in that, yeah? We have form, consciousness, and non-associated compositional factor. Yeah, you remember that? Yeah? The three main divisions of impermanent. Yeah, so it means that if it is impermanent, it has to be either form or matter, or consciousness, or impermanent, which is not form and not consciousness. Yeah, non-associated compositional factor. Yeah, yeah. Is that clear for everyone? Yeah. Okay, so it follows that you can posit an illustration of non-associated compositional factor.
Accept.
Yes, posit
Time.
time, the subject time. It follows that it is a non-associated compositional factor. Yes, accept. It is.
Accept.
It is because.
It is momentary and it exists.
Okay.
And it's not mind or form.
Yes, very good. So it follows that if it is momentary and it is not form nor consciousness, it's necessarily a non-associated compositional factor.
Yes.
Yes, very good. Wow, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so now it follows that you know the comparison or the difference between pot and matter.
Accept.
Okay. Among contradictory equivalent 3p, 4p, what would it be?
3P.
3p. It follows that you can posit something which is both pot and matter.
The red pot.
Yes, a red pot, the subject, a red pot, it follows it is a pot.
Accept.
Okay, it is a pot because if you know the definition of pot, it's okay. Otherwise, no problem.
It is round and bulbous object.
Yes, very good. Yes. Okay, so it follows that my belly is a pot. Okay.
That holds can hold water. Round and bulbous object that can hold water.
Okay. Yeah, very good. Yeah, we could have some kinds of debates like this. Okay, very good, Shantila. So the subject red pot, it follows it is matter as well, yeah? Because it's something
Yes.
pot and matter, yeah? It is matter because?
It has made of particles.
Yes, it is made of particles. If it is made of particles, it's necessarily matter.
Yes.
Okay, so we have the first possibility, yeah, something which is both A and B, yeah, pot and matter, yeah, everybody agrees? Okay, so now I need to know the pervasion because if we have 3p, pot could be bigger or matter could be bigger. So I need to ask Shantila, please posit the pervasion between pot and matter.
Matter.
Yes, so the perversion would be if it is A, it's necessarily B, but if it is B, it's not necessarily A. Yeah, so where do you put matter and pot?
Yeah, the matter's a bigger set.
Yes, very good, exactly. Yeah, I would agree as well. So we could formulate like this. If it is pot, it's necessarily matter, but if it is matter, it's not necessarily pot. Yeah, that's the way to verbalize the pervasion, yeah, in that case, yeah? Yeah, very good. Then the challenger knows and what you think, yeah? You think that, of course, matter is bigger than pot, yeah? Very good. So it follows that you can posit an illustration of matter which is not pot.
I
Yes?
accept.
Yes, accept. What could it be?
Watch.
A
A
watch.
watch.
Yes, the subject a watch. It follows it is matter.
Yes.
It is matter because?
It is made of particles.
Yes, if it follows that if it is made of particles, it's necessarily matter.
I accept.
Very good. Yeah, as you see, we go step by step, repeating a lot. Then we learn the definitions like this, and we go slowly, slowly. Of course, then when we get used in that debates, after we can go a little bit quicker, but now we can go like this, yeah, slowly, yeah, like all together, yeah, in the fields of joy. Okay, very good. Very good. Okay, so the subject, what was it? It was Shantila, oh yeah, the watch. The subject, the watch. It follows that it is not a pot.
I accept.
Okay, it is not a pot because?
It is not a round and bulbous structure which can hold water.
Exactly. It follows that if it is not round and bulbous, flat-based and able to hold water, it's necessarily not a pot.
I accept.
Yes, okay, so we have the second possibility. Yeah, the second possibility is something which is A but not B, matter but not pot. Yeah? Okay, very good. We had something which is both. Now we have something which is the one but not the other. Yeah? And it's not possible to find something which is a pot but not matter. Yeah? So that's why I will not ask for that. Yeah? Okay. So it follows that there are not 3P because you cannot possess something which is neither matter and pot.
The reason is not established.
Very good. It follows that you can posit an illustration of something which is neither matter and pot.
The mind of a human being.
Yes, mind, the subject, the mind of a human being. Okay. The subject, the mind of a human being is not matter.
I accept.
Is not matter because?
It is not made of particles.
Yes, if it is not made of particles, it's necessarily not matter.
I accept.
Okay, and the subject, the mind of a human being is not a pot.
I accept.
It's not a pot because?
It is not round and bulbous with a flat base that can hold water.
Exactly, yes. You could even say because it's not a matter. Yeah. So if it's not matter, it cannot be pot. Yeah. So you can find many reasons like this, but it's good to discard the definition because if you discard the definition, then you discard the definiendum. Yeah. Very good. Wow. Wonderful. So we have 3P between pot and matter, yeah? Yeah. So our task is at least at the beginning to double check every configuration, yeah? We have to check that red pot is pot and matter. Yeah, we have to double check each point. Then we have to double check that a watch is matter but not a pot. And we have to double check that mind is neither, is none of them, yeah? Yeah, very good. Okay, very good. That's wonderful. So, okay. Everybody follows up to now, yeah? Yeah, that's okay for everyone, yeah? There is no mystery behind the debates we have now, yeah? Okay. Palavila? Yeah?
So, when we say that this is on the topic of characteristic and characterized,
Mhm.
is that a different view? Is it a different view for South Tantrika and Prasangika? Um,
Yeah, about the fact that characterized phenomenon cannot be its very characteristic, and the characteristic cannot be the characterized phenomenon itself. Usually we tend to accept that everywhere. Yeah, 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 because it's a kind of a law of no contradiction as well. Yeah, yeah. Of course, like as we said previously, a characteristic can be characterized itself. Yeah, we can speak about impermanence, which is a characteristic, and we can characterize it gross impermanence, subtle impermanence, and so on. Yeah, the impermanence of my body, of my life, of my cup, and so on. Yeah, so we can specify, of course, yeah, in one sense. Yeah, okay. But yeah, yeah.
But that just means you're putting an adjective to another, to, like, you're just, a characterized can have, no, characteristic can also have additional characteristics.
Yes.
Like the light is hot, the
Yes.
light can be emanating heat. So that's, but the bulb has the characteristic of light and heat.
Sorry, could you repeat the very last
The
sentence?
light,
Yes.
a bulb
Yes.
in your lampshade
Yes.
has the characteristic of light
Mm-hmm.
and heat.
Okay.
But because the bulb is the characterized, it has to be different. That's why they're contradictory.
Yes. Yes. In that very sense, we say that we could not say that the characteristic is characterizing itself in one sense. No. Yeah. The characteristic or the qualifier is applied to something else. Yeah, like we would say that the cup is impermanent, or the person exists, is existent, and so on. Yeah, but the person is not its very existence is itself. Yeah, because the person is impermanent and existence is permanent. Yeah, so we could not say that the person is its existence itself. Yeah, or we cannot say that the person is its very impermanence, because impermanence is an NECP, a non-associated compositional factor, which is not a person. And the person is an NECP, which is a person. So the person cannot be something which is not a person. Yeah. Impermanent is not a person. Yeah. A person is impermanent, but it's not impermanent. It's the impermanence itself. Yeah, because impermanence itself is an NECP, which is not a person. Yeah. Or
I
we
have to
can
write this down and think about it. Sorry.
Yeah. We can say that, like, for instance, yes, we can say that a person can be sharp. Yeah. When we debate, we try to be sharper and sharper and sharper. Yeah, that's the main point in order to practice analytical meditation. So we need to be sharp. We can say that the person is sharp, but the person is not sharpness itself. Yeah, that's another way to formulate that. Yeah, very good. Wow, very good. Okay, so now, okay. So it follows that you can posit the difference between a Tibetan people and long-haired people, between contradictory, equivalent, 3P, 4P. Yes, Zingrula.
I think it's 4P.
4P. Ah, 4P. Okay, so it follows that you can posit something which is both.
Except
Okay, posit.
a Tibetan woman with long hair.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, very good. So, do we have a famous Tibetan lady with long hair? Famous one.
Amala.
Yeah. Yeah, Amala, for instance. Yeah. Okay. So she's famous. Okay. Yes. Okay. So it follows that the subject Amala is a Tibetan lady.
Except.
Okay. So she's Tibetan lady, and she's a long-haired person.
Except.
Okay, so it follows that she's both. She's an illustration of Tibetan person and long-haired person. Okay, so it follows that you can posit an illustration of someone which is A and not B. So a Tibetan person which is not long-haired person.
Except.
Posit?
His Holiness the Dalai Lama.
Yes, His Holiness the Dalai Lama. It follows that His Holiness the Dalai Lama is a Tibetan Tibetan person.
Except.
Yes, and it follows that His Holiness the Dalai Lama is not a long-haired person.
Except.
Yes, is not because
He is gold. No, no, not bold. I don't know the English word. He has not long hair. Let's say it.
yes, or because he is a monk.
He's
Yeah,
a monk. Yeah.
He's-
Okay.
he's a Buddhist monk. Okay, so it follows that if he is a Buddhist monk, he's necessarily not a long-haired person.
Except.
Yes, okay, very good. So it follows that you can posit an illustration of a long-haired person which is not a Tibetan person.
My sister.
Okay. The subject, your sister. Your sister, which will become very famous. Your sister, it follows that she is a long-haired person.
Except.
Okay, it follows that she is not a Tibetan person.
Except.
She is not because?
Because she's German.
Okay, it follows that if someone is German, that person cannot be Tibetan.
Except.
Yes, we could say.
Yes, could have German nationality. Yeah.
Yeah, we can have different passports, like
Yeah.
James Bond. Okay.
She
Okay.
does not have Tibetan parents.
Okay, we could say like this. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay. And so we had, so everybody can follow us. Yeah, we found an illustration of something which is both, something which is A and not B, something which is B and not A. And now we need an illustration of someone which is not long-haired and which is not Tibetan.
For example, a dog.
Yes, a dog. Okay. A short-haired dog.
Yeah, short head.
Okay. Yes. It follows that a short-haired dog is not a Tibetan person.
Or except.
Ah, we can have some Tibetan dogs.
Yeah, I'm thinking about. Okay, a plane. A plane.
A plane. Yeah, okay. It follows that the plane is not a Tibetan person.
Except.
He's not a Tibetan person because
A plane is not a person.
exactly. It follows that if it's not a person, it cannot be a Tibetan person.
Except.
Yeah, very good. And a plane is not a long-haired person.
Except.
Okay, very good. So 4P between what and what?
Long-haired person and Tibetan person.
Yes, very good. Yeah. Wow, fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so you know how it works. Okay, so, okay. So we've seen existent, impermanent, permanent, and so on. Then we need to go back as well in one and different. Yeah. Do you want to go into that? One and different? Yes. You're all very brave. Okay. So, so it follows that you know the definition of one.
I accept.
Yes, Shantila, opposite.
Phenomena which is not diverse, not
Yes.
separate.
It follows that the subject, a phenomenon which is not diverse, is the definition of one.
I accept.
Okay. And it follows that we know the definition of different.
I accept.
Okay, opposite.
A phenomena which is diverse.
Yes, diverse phenomena. Yeah, it follows that the subject, diverse phenomena, is the definition of different.
I accept.
Okay, very good. So you know the difference between one and different among contradictory, equivalent, 3P, 4P?
I accept.
Okay, opposite.
Contradictory.
Contradictory, it follows that the subject, the two, one and different are contradictory.
I accept.
They are contradictory because?
Whatever is one is not different.
Yes. And?
Whatever is different is not one.
Exactly. Very good. Yes, okay. So, one and different. Okay. So, okay. So it follows that you know the definition of one with pot.
The reason is not established. A one with pot would be exactly pot. One with pot is pot.
Ah, okay. 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 So so yes, we will slowly go into that in order to get more familiarized with the way to formulate things, yeah? Because the subject one with pot is not pot. Ah, okay. That's surprising, no? The subject one with pot itself is permanent, yeah, because one is permanent. Yeah, they are all appearing, how do we say in English? Yes, they are appearing objects to thought consciousness, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so they are permanent. One is permanent, so one with pot is permanent. Yeah, it's like non-organic rice with organic rice. Yeah, we've seen things like this. But if it is one with pot, it has to be pot. Yeah. So the subject one with pot is not pot, but if it is one with pot, it has to be pot. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Okay. So if we try to check the definition of one with pot, if you have the definition of one, you have the definition of one with pot. Yeah, the definition of one is a phenomenon which is not diverse. Yeah. So if you want to know the definition of one with pot, it's a phenomenon which is not diverse from pot. Yeah. Yeah. Does it work? Too complicate? Yeah, Palavina.
It's complicated because you gave two opposing statements. I don't know which side we are. Are
Yeah.
we deciding that one is different from pot?
Hmm.
One with pot is different from one because
Yes.
we are proving that.
So we try to prove that one with pot is not pot. Yeah. But we can also try to prove, if we wish, yeah, that one with pot is not one with pot. One with pot is different from pot. the subject one with pot is not one with pot, because what is one with pot in the whole multiverse? Just pot. Yeah, pot is one with pot. So one with pot itself is not one with pot. It's different from pot.
If there were two pots, now you have pot and two pot.
Okay. Yeah.
The number one, so one phenomena that is not diverse or different, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that exists at the same time that there are two pots, because one phenomena is one pot. Even
Yes.
if there are two pots, you still have one phenomena.
In this case, okay, yeah, we could say we could go in your sense, yeah, Palavila, we could say that whatever the phenomenon that you think about, yeah, they can be multiple, they can be like billions and billions phenomena that you think about. Still, any phenomenon is always one with itself.
Yes.
Yeah, that will never change. Yeah, like pot is one with pot, table is one with table, and so on. Yeah. So, but even if we have many, like billions phenomena in front of us, still each one of them is one with itself. Yeah. Very good. Okay. But yeah, okay. So when we think about one, yeah, or like pot, we isolate pot from everything else. So we just have pot, it is just alone. Yeah, so it is one. Yeah. But pot and table, they are not one, they are different. Yeah. Okay. Very good. So only pot is one with pot, only table is one with table. Yeah. So now when we think about one with pot itself, the subject one with pot, is it one with pot? No, c'est un moment-là? It is not.
No,
It is not because
because one with pot is pot itself.
yeah. So we could say because only pot is one with pot.
Oh,
Yeah, only pot is one with pot. One with pot is different from pot.
Hmm.
Yeah, like okay. Yeah, that's a difficult point. Yeah, like when we think about one with pot, we have three words. One with pot. Yeah, so one with pot, it's necessarily not pot because there are three words. Yeah, so one with pot, it's necessarily not pot. But if it is one with pot, it has to be pot. Yeah. Ah. Yeah. Yes, Paravila?
So can I replace one with space? So space with pot is pot.
Space with pot.
The space in the pot, or the
Ah.
space, the molecules that are making the pot
Yes, okay.
is the pot.
Okay.
But so the pot owns that space. The table owns that space for that time,
Yeah.
right? So that's why pot is one.
Yeah.
But space is not the pot, because there could be space without pot.
Yeah, exactly. And space is permanent, but pot is impermanent. Yeah.
Yes, so one is permanent and pot is impermanent.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why space cannot be one with pot, but space has to be different from pot.
space
Yeah.
has to be different from pot. That's why they're contradictory.
They are contradictory, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, yeah, exactly. They are contradictory. Okay, so yeah. So the meaning of that is that when we think about something, we isolate, we exclude, we eliminate everything else. Yeah. Our thought consciousness is operating by way of excluding, yeah, by way of exclusion. We eliminate everything else that other than pot. Yeah, so we just think about pot, and pot exists, you know, you know that. And if it exists, it has to be one or different. Yeah, like if it exists, it has to be permanent or impermanent. Yeah, in another way, we can say if it exists, it is either one or different. Yeah, pot is just one because we don't compare it with anything else. So it's just one. Yeah. But of course, if you select the subject, the two pots, there cannot be one. Yeah, you select them among all the universe, two pots, they are necessarily different. Yeah, very good. Okay, so if it exists, it has to be one or different. Yeah. Okay, so only pot in the multiverse of Doctor Strange, only pot can be one with pot. So it follows that one with pot, the subject one with pot, cannot be one with pot because only pot is one with pot. You follow me? Yeah, good.
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
When we say space is permanent, are we talking about composite space? And non-composite space is also permanent in that case.
So that's a difficult question because when we ask that question to different geshes, they don't give necessarily the same answer. For instance, I remember that Venerable Gendamdul would give another answer for composite space, like which is full of many things. Yeah. The space in the cup is full of many things. Yeah. It's yeah, it's a kind of phenomenon which is, if it is composite in that sense, it has to be impermanent. Like, you know, when we speak about the elements in matter, yeah, we have the four elements like earth, fire, wind, and water. And sometimes we give a fifth one, which would be composite space, like among the aggregates. And the composite space among the aggregates would be an NACP. Yeah, because it has to be impermanent because it is among the aggregates and all the aggregates are impermanent necessarily. So even the fifth element, the space, that composite space would be considered as impermanent. So in that very sense, it would be an NACP. It's not really the same space as uncompounded space, which is a mere negation, which has to be permanent. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it follows that the subject one with pot is different from pot.
Except
Yes, it is different from pot because
only pot is one with pot.
yes, only pot is one with pot, yeah. So one with pot, the subject one with pot, because it is not one with pot and it exists, it has to be different from pot. Yeah. Okay. But whatever in the universe is that one with pot, it has to be pot. There is only pot in the universe that can be one with pot. Yeah. Okay. So, so okay, that's interesting for the later debates when we enter in the isolates and so on, yeah, that could be very useful as well, yeah, to understand how we make the distinctions, yeah, between phenomena, even if they are one entity. Okay. Okay, very good. What time is it? Okay, do you still have some time? Like 10, 15 minutes? Yeah? Is that okay? Yeah? Okay, very good. Thank you. Your
Sorry,
breath.
I have to drop, but I will catch up at the end.
Yeah?
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Pamela. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So it follows that the subject different from pot is one with pot. It follows that the subject different from pot is one with pot. Accepts, why?
The reason is not established.
Yeah. So because it's a two-part consequence, we would say why. Yeah. I don't agree with what you say. So if I say if we think we don't agree with the consequence, yeah, we would say why. Yeah. It means I don't agree with what you say, yeah, with your thesis. Yeah. Okay. So okay, Shantila, very good. So I would say, I would give the opposite formulation. So it follows that the subject different from pot is not one with pot.
Accept.
Very good. And the challenger would could also say, it follows that the subject different from pot is one with pot, because the subject one with pot is different from pot. So in that case, it's more confusing. So I will drop it. Yeah, okay. So yes, the subject different from pot is different from pot. And the subject one with pot is different from pot. Yeah. Okay, only pot is one with pot. Okay, very good. Very good. Wonderful. So, okay. So it follows that we will just finish with that debate. It follows that you know the difference between different and impermanent. Oh. Oh.
Accept.
Yes. Okay. Among contradictory, equivalent 3P, 4P, Shantila?
Contradictory.
Contradictory between different and impermanent. Contradictory because?
Different is a permanent phenomenon.
Okay.
Whatever is different is not necessarily not impermanent.
Okay.
Oh, but that is the problem. Whatever is impermanent is necessarily not different.
Okay.
Actually, that's the problem. But
Yeah. Yeah, when we try to double check, yeah, it's good to think about that, yeah. To think, okay, is everything different impermanent? Is every impermanent different? And so on and so on, yeah. Okay.
so I'd say like 4P.
4P. 4P, yes, in Greenland as well. Ah, who would stick to contradictory? Nobody. Maybe 3P or 5P, 6P. Okay, so it follows, Shantila, that you can posit an illustration of something which is different and impermanent.
Pot and vase.
Yes, the subject, the two, pot and vase. It follows that they are impermanent.
Accept.
They are impermanent because?
Momentary changing.
Yes, if it's momentary changing, it's necessarily impermanent.
Accept.
Yes, we could also say because they are formed or because they are produced and so on and so on. Yeah, we can imagine many reasonings. Very good. Okay, because they are momentary. Very good. So the subject, the two, pot and vase, they are impermanent. And now we have to prove that they are different. They are different because?
They are separate. They are not one.
They are because they are not one. So
And
if
they
that...
exist. Yeah.
Yes, very good. Yeah, if they exist and they are not one, they are necessarily different.
I accept.
Okay, yeah, because if we just say because they are not one, then we could have an issue, yeah? Because the two horns of the rabbit, they are not one, yeah? But they are not different as well, yeah? Okay, very good. Very good. If it exists and it's not one, it has to be different, yeah? So the subject, the two, pot and vase, they are different and they are impermanent. So they are a common base between impermanent and different, yeah? Very good. So then you posited 4p, okay. So it follows that you can posit something which is different but not impermanent.
Uh, um, Two permanent phenomena.
Yes, for instance.
Emptiness of the picture and emptiness of the laptop.
Okay, emptiness of the picture and emptiness of the laptop. It follows that they are different.
I accept.
Okay, they are different because?
They are not one and they exist.
Okay, good. If they are not one and they exist, they are necessarily different.
I accept.
Okay, and the emptiness of the laptop and the emptiness of the picture, it follows that they are not impermanent.
I accept.
They are not impermanent because?
They are not functioning things.
Okay, if they are not functioning things, they are necessarily not impermanent.
I accept.
Okay, very good. Wow, fantastic. Really. Okay, and okay. So it follows that you can posit an illustration of something which is impermanent but not different.
I accept.
Okay, posit.
A pot.
A pot, the subject pot, it follows it is impermanent.
I accept.
It is impermanent because?
It is a product.
Yes, if it is a product, it's necessarily impermanent.
I accept.
Wow, and the subject pot, it's not different.
I accept.
It's not different because?
It is one
Okay, if it is
and
one,
exists.
yeah. If it is one, can it be non-existent?
No.
Okay, good. So it is one. So if it is one, it's necessarily not different.
I accept.
Yes, okay, very good. So we had something which is both pot and vase, yeah, they are impermanent and they are different. We had different, which is not impermanent, yeah, two selflessnesses. And we have something which is impermanent but not different, yeah, we have pot. So now we need something which is neither impermanent and different.
The subject uncompounded space.
Yeah, the subject and compounded space. It follows that it is not different.
Except
It is not different because.
because it's one.
So if it follows that if it is one, it's necessarily not different.
Except.
Okay, and the subject and compounded space, it is not impermanent.
Except
It is not because.
because it's a phenomenon and it's non-momentary.
Yeah, if it is a phenomenon which is not momentary, it's necessarily not impermanent.
Except. No, I'm not sure. Yeah, except if it, yeah.
Yes, if it is permanent, yeah, if it is a phenomenon which is not momentary, it cannot be impermanent, yeah? Yeah, so we have 4P between what and what?
Different and impermanent.
Yes, very good. Yeah, we could have 4P between one and permanent as well, yeah? That's the same debate, yeah? Or 4P between different and permanent. Yeah. Or also 4P between one and impermanent. Yeah. Because those two, one and different on one side and permanent, impermanent on the other side are main divisions of existent, yeah, of phenomena. So if you pick in one set and the other, you compare both, you necessarily have 4P. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Wow, I'm so happy, really happy. Really, really proud of you. Yeah, that's very, very good, very good. I just wanted to read a small quote. Just, I wanted to do that for the motivation, but we can do that for the dedication as well. It comes from the Lojon Yime Welser from Horten Nam Kapel, one direct student from Lama Tsongkhapa. Yeah, in mind training like the rays of the sun. It's kind of Lam Rim with some Lojong, you know, mind training. And it's very, very useful because in one page, like 1920, he speaks about samsara, where we want to discard afflictions and so on. So we need meditations for that. Yeah. So he says that to turn away from such tendencies, we must try to develop an independent, controlled, and workable mind that will stay where it is put or go where it is sent. To acquire such a state of mind, it is necessary to focus on the specific object of meditation without being distracted by either laxity or excitement. And the last sentence is very important. These meditations should follow the given order and, except for the training in the perfection of concentration, they are all analytical meditations. All the points of the Lam Rim are analytical meditations. So that's why we try to keep an active mind in order to use logic, reason, and to utilize that in analytical meditation in order to transform our mind for the sake of all the beings. Yeah. So that's always good to keep that in our minds when we try to debate. But I know that that's exactly what you're doing. So it was just to give that very sentence, which is so useful, yeah, in the Nalanda tradition, yeah, in the Indo-Tibetan tradition. We try to keep that analytical meditation, yeah, when we try to discard ignorance and the afflictions, the other afflictions, and so on. We need that kind of wisdom to know reality. So of course, we start with the Sotrantika, which is quite basic, but very useful. Then after, when we get used in those tools, conceptual tools, we can apply that to the Madhyamaka as well, yeah, which is much more useful in one sense, but the Sotrantika should not be discarded because of that, yeah, yeah, because it's very simple in one sense. But sometimes complicated, yeah, as you can see. Okay, thank you so much, and see you next time. Yeah, and if you want to join Zigrun La's debate club, please do that, because it's a way to just make your tongue function. Then after, slowly it comes so used, you're so used with the answers and so on. Then after, you can focus on the main points, yeah, the how do you say, the content of the debate. In the beginning, it's just in the format, yeah, with apple, tree, long-haired person, and so on. Then after, slowly in the content, yeah. Thank you so much, for the sake of all the beings, for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and please enjoy again and again in those analytical meditations. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
My pleasure. Take
Thank
care.
you, Christophe. Thank you.
My pleasure, really. Take care and see you next time. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.